us. That'll do it for us here on Morning Rush. I'm Lindsay Tuckman. Let's send it over now to Scripps News Live with Veronica De La Cruz. Hey, Veronica.
Hey there, Lindsay. Little known fact, I was also a spelling bee champ.
Oh, we're going to have to play around with that later and test your skills.
It was a long, long time ago. Lindsay, thanks so much. So we are covering several major stories for you this hour, including a group of bipartisan senators' surprise visit to Ukraine. Let's get started.
It's a message of supporting us. And thank you very much.
Ukraine's president expressing thanks as lawmakers led by Democrat Joe Manchin expressed their support for his war effort. Russia says it will consider a prisoner swap that could free a jailed Wall Street Journal reporter with one major catch. Former President Trump will reportedly sit for a deposition in New York today. And Great Britain's tabloid press in a frenzy as Prince Harry makes plans to attend his father's coronation alone.
It's not going to be a family reunion. Certainly there has been damage done.
Scripps News Live begins right now.
A group of U.S. senators and one country music megastar making a surprise visit to the front lines of the war in Ukraine. Welcome to your Thursday edition of Scripps News Live. Great to see you today. I'm Veronica De La Cruz. West Virginia Democrat Joe Manchin leading that delegation to Kyiv in a show of bipartisan support for the Ukrainian war effort. Manchin was flanked by Democrat Mark Kelly of Arizona, Republican Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, and country star Brad Paisley. Now, in a statement released after his meeting with President Vladimir Zelensky, Manchin said that he was even more convinced that defeating Vladimir Putin should, quote, remain our top priority. Scripps News national political correspondent Kevin Surley is live on Capitol Hill right now. All right, Kevin, what more can you tell us about this visit and its significance?
Veronica, it was a strong showing of bipartisan support for Ukraine, led by one of the most influential swing votes in the United States Senate, centrist Senator Joe Manchin, a Democrat of West Virginia, who has not ruled out running for president in 2024. Now, already the United States has allocated $76.8 billion of aid to the Ukraine. And let's break down those numbers a little bit. $26.4 billion in financial assistance, $46.6 billion in military aid, and nearly $4 billion in humanitarian aid. Now, the United States is the leading nation in terms of total funds allocated to support and defend Ukraine. And we should also note that this week in Washington, D.C., global leaders have been meeting during the International Monetary Fund meetings. And this was a topic of conversation for global leaders in terms of the need for reconstruction of Ukraine. And they were quite honest about the hefty price tag it's going to take to rebuild Ukraine's infrastructure, financial systems, and technology systems as well. Take a listen to what World Bank President David Malpass and Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen had to say.
I'm pleased to announce today that the World Bank is currently preparing a $1.5 billion operation for Ukraine to support continuation of essential government services during the war.
I'm encouraged that the IMF, multilateral development banks, and our partners are also standing with Ukraine in its time of need.
Now, here in Congress, there have been some outliers in terms of support for Ukraine funding, including the likes of Congressman Matt Gaetz and Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene. But Ukrainian President Zelensky saying the following in terms of the bipartisanship that continues to come from Washington for backing Ukraine. Take a listen to what he had to say during Senator Manchin's visit.
Much for this dialogue and opportunity to speak to each other, and I think what is important, but mostly important, of course, that you're coming here. It's a message of supporting us, and thank you very much. I want to all my appreciation to United States President Biden, to Congress, and bipartisan support from first days of full-scale war.
And it's not just Washington, it's also Hollywood and the country music scene as well, Veronica, as Brad Paisley was there. He reportedly also sang Country Roads, the famous West Virginia John Denver anthem. I'm not sure if you're a country music fan, Veronica, but music was on display as well during that Ukraine trip. I am a country music fan, Veronica.
I love that song, Kevin. My mother used to sing it to me. Country Road, yeah. I'm not going to sing it, though, but it's a good one.
My sister went to West Virginia University, and then Governor Manchin spoke at the graduation, and so that song is indoctrinated into my brain.
Yeah, well, it's a good one. It's a good one. Kevin Sterling live for us on Capitol Hill. Kevin, thank you. All right, I want to get you now to another major development regarding the leaked Pentagon documents. According to the Washington Post, the person leaking those documents worked on a military base. He'd been revealing the information online since 2020 in a private Discord chat. Now, according to the Post, the man was not working on behalf of a foreign government. The paper spoke with someone claiming to be his friend.
He is not a Russian operative. He is not a Ukrainian operative. I'll go as far to say he's not even on the east side of the world. Any claims that he is a Russian operative or pro-Russian is categorically false.
Discord is saying that it is fully cooperating with the Pentagon's investigation into the leak, but it didn't elaborate on what that cooperation entails. A senior U.S. official recently told the New York Times that hundreds, if not thousands, of military and government officials have the security clearance needed to gain access to the documents. New right now, Russia is saying it will consider a prisoner swap that could free jailed Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich, but only after he's been tried on espionage charges. These are pictures that you're looking at right now of him leaving a Moscow court on March 30th. That is the same day Russia's security service confirmed his arrest. Russian authorities have accused him of stealing classified information about a military factory, a claim that the Wall Street Journal is vigorously denying. Well, the State Department says that he is being wrongfully detained, presumably for political purposes, which is a stance that is strengthened by a new report out from Bloomberg News that claims that Russian President Vladimir Putin personally signed off on his arrest. Developing right now, a federal appeals court acting to preserve access to the abortion pill for now. That ruling coming late last night, keeping mifepristone on the market with a few added rules in place. Now, it's narrowed the window of pregnancy during which that pill can be used, and the drug can't be sent by mail, while a series of legal challenges to that Texas judge's ruling and the subsequent challenges play out. The Justice Department has filed a formal appeal invalidating the drug's FDA approval, and a decision on that appeal will be coming at a later date. Another major decision on health care to tell you about now, coming from the Biden administration, which says participants in the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, better known as DREAMers, will be able to access government-funded health programs. In a video posted to Twitter today, President Biden called the migrants brought to the U.S. as children, quote, American in every way, except for on paper. His administration's move will allow them to apply for Medicaid and health coverage under the Affordable Care Act. Calls for California Senator Dianne Feinstein's resignation are growing louder, and they're coming from members of her own party. The 89-year-old is the oldest member of the Senate, and she's been away from Capitol Hill since March while recovering from shingles. In that time, the Senate Judiciary Committee member has missed a number of key votes, which has put President Biden's judicial picks on pause. Let's get you right out to Scripps News congressional correspondent Nate Reed, who's live for us on Capitol Hill right now. So, Nate, what is the Senate planning to do in light of her absence? What's been happening?
Well, look, Veronica, Senator Feinstein is not the only senator who's been missing votes. A number of senators are out on medical leave, including Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell and Senator John Fetterman of Pennsylvania. They've both been in and out of the hospital, but both of those senators are set to return when the Easter recess ends next Monday. Senator Feinstein, though, is out with no set date to return. A growing number of Democrats are calling on California Senator Dianne Feinstein to step down after months of being away from the Capitol. The 89-year-old hasn't voted or given a speech on the Senate floor since February after being hospitalized with a case of shingles. Her absence causing a backup in the Senate Judiciary Committee, with an equal number of Democrats and Republicans causing deadlock. Feinstein, who turns 90 in June, has already announced she will not run for re-election next year. But some Democrats and their supporters are calling on her to leave office before then. Democratic Representative Ro Khanna of California, who last month ruled out a bid to succeed Feinstein, tweeting this week in part, "It's time for Senator Feinstein to resign." Other prominent Democrats making similar calls.
Dianne Feinstein, who should not be in the Senate, is now preventing us from being able to confirm judges.
It's not the first time Feinstein's fitness to serve has been called into question. A series of articles in recent years have raised concerns about her mental fitness. Turning 90 in June, Feinstein is the oldest serving U.S. senator.
Are you ready to win this thing?
Already a trio of Democrats have thrown their hats in the ring to succeed Senator Feinstein. Some even announcing before she withdrew from consideration.
I'm Eric Early, and I am running for U.S. Senate.
A Republican perennial candidate, Eric Early, has also thrown his hat in the ring, but faces an uphill battle. A Republican has not won statewide in the Golden State since 2006. All four contenders say they're best fit to serve, as California's senior senator remains on indefinite leave. In a statement released last night, Senator Feinstein confirmed that she's continuing to recover and has no set date to return to Washington. She also said she's asked Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer to appoint a temporary replacement for her on the Senate Judiciary Committee. In a statement, a spokesperson for the Senate Majority Leader saying in part he will ask the Senate next week to allow another Democratic senator to temporarily serve on the Judiciary Committee in her place. Now, if she were to resign, Veronica, it would be up to California Governor Gavin Newsom to appoint a replacement to fill out the rest of her term. He's made comments in the past that if he had to do so, he would appoint a black woman to her seat.
All right, Nathaniel Reed reporting live for us from Capitol Hill. Nate, always appreciate the update. Thank you. And we have much more to come for you in this hour of Scripps News Live. An Indiana town saying it has years worth of documents proving the owner of this burning recycling plant ignored the warning to clean up his act. Parts of South Florida also underwater right now as it's hammered with once in a 1,000-year rainfall. And protesters briefly shutting down businesses at the Florida Capitol as the House is taking up a bill that would ban all abortions after 6 weeks. We're back after a short break.
Do you spend hours maintaining your gutters? Save that time with LeafGuard's maintenance-free system. Call 1-833-2-GUTTERS. Mesh filters sit on top of your gutters, building up debris and eventually clogging. Then they need to be cleaned too. Honestly, your home should have been built with LeafGuard gutters. LeafGuard's wraparound hood deflects debris and keeps water away from your home. The one-piece seamless system is strong, 20% thicker than average and built to last. Plus, LeafGuard is guaranteed to never clog for as long as you own your home. Right now, get a complete LeafGuard system for only $99 down, $99 a month, and $99 installation. You'll also receive a $100 Visa gift card with a free gutter inspection and in-home estimate. Damage from clogged gutters can cost you thousands. Never worry about clogged gutters again. Don't wait, you've still got time. Call 1-833-2-GUTTERS today. That's 1-833-2-GUTTERS.
Sure, you'll teach her to drive a car. Then use Greenlight and teach her to save up for her own car. Mowing lawns and getting paid. Navigate the world of earning, saving, and investing together. Invest in your best investment. Greenlight.
At Omaha Steaks, we do burgers differently. We take a premium aged steak like this and turn it into a pure ground burger like this. So this is actually a ribeye. This is a New York strip, top sirloin, beef brisket, and this is a filet mignon. For a limited time, our Burger Perfection flight comes with 20 big, juicy burgers, all for just $79.99, plus free shipping. Get it today at omahasteaks.com/TV. This is Burger Perfection, guaranteed.
Do you have a box of videotapes, film reels, or photos that are degrading? Legacy Box professionally converts them to DVDs, thumb drive, or the cloud. Legacy Box is simple and safe, with over 1 million satisfied customers. Visit legacybox.com.
Action!
Stunts have become more specialized because everything has to be bigger and better.
What was the moment where you decided you want to be a stunt driver?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, it's happening.
We're just very fortunate to have been able to work on Everything Everywhere All at Once. I'm still very starstruck, to be honest.
Next Gen Stunts on In Real Life. New episode Sunday night at 9/8 Central. Only on Scripps News.
Protesters disrupting Florida lawmakers as they prepare to vote on a 6-week abortion ban in the state. House legislators taking a break while authorities empty the gallery. Now, the protests continued outside of the House chamber. The state Senate approved the proposal last week, and most experts expect the debate to wind up before the Florida Supreme Court. Now, in the meantime, Justin Pearson, the second black Democrat kicked out of the Tennessee State House last week, has been reinstated. Pearson and Justin Jones both participated in a gun protest on the House floor, and those protests followed a mass shooting at a Nashville school that killed 6, including 3 9-year-old students. Today, Representative Pearson said Happy Resurrection Day as he signed the paperwork for his return. Scripps News national correspondent Stephanie Sandoval has been covering this story for us from the beginning. She has more now on the latest developments.
All 3 lawmakers that are part of the Tennessee 3 say they will not stop fighting for stricter gun laws. By unanimous vote, Justin Pearson can return to the Tennessee House of Representatives.
Show the message for all the people in Nashville who decided to expel us. You can't expel hope.
His return comes after a vote by the Shelby County Board of Commissioners in Memphis, which he represents. This comes almost a week after the GOP-led House voted to expel him and fellow Democratic lawmaker Justin Jones for speaking out of turn about gun control, breaking decorum rules, according to majority leaders. Pearson says he's excited to return and be a voice for the people again, eager to finish the job and pass stricter gun laws.
This is the democracy that is going to transform our nation. This is the democracy that's going to lift up the victims of gun violence instead of supporting the NRA and the gun lobbies.
Tennessee's governor speaking out, saying something has to change.
When there is a clear need for action, I think that we have an obligation, and I certainly do, to remind people that we should set aside politics and pride and accomplish something that the people of Tennessee want us to get accomplished.
Both Pearson and Jones returned to the Tennessee House on an interim basis until special elections can take place.
You can't expel our voice, and you sure can't expel our fight. We look forward to continuing to fight, continuing to advocate until justice rolls down like water.
And lawmakers are calling on the resignation of House Speaker Cameron Sexton as Speaker. Tennessee's Governor Bill Lee signed an executive order into law that is designed to strengthen background checks when people are buying firearms. He's also urging lawmakers to pass an order of protection law to keep guns away from people who are a danger to themselves and other people. Back to you.
All right, Stephanie, thank you for that. Well, former President Donald Trump has returned to New York City for a second deposition in a $250 million fraud lawsuit. The state's attorney is alleging that Trump and his older kids, Ivanka and Don Jr., misrepresented real estate values in order to qualify for better loans and insurance rates and tax breaks. The Trumps are denying those claims. During his first deposition in the case, Donald Trump invoked his Fifth Amendment right more than 400 times. Meanwhile, the former president is suing his former lawyer and fixer Michael Cohen for $500 million. Trump is claiming that Cohen caused him, quote, vast reputational harm. This after Cohen revealed details of the hush money payments made to adult entertainer Stormy Daniels. The civil suit filed in Miami federal court is accusing Cohen of violating a confidentiality agreement with Trump. Cohen's spokesperson is saying that the lawsuit will not deter him from cooperating with prosecutors. And a new twist now to tell you about in that $1.6 billion Dominion Voting Systems defamation lawsuit against Fox News. The judge is going to appoint a special master to investigate whether Fox intentionally withheld key evidence in the case. On Easter Sunday, Fox revealed Rupert Murdoch is executive chair at Fox News. Up until then, Fox was claiming that Murdoch was only an officer at Fox's parent company. The judge is calling this a credibility issue. Scripps News national political correspondent Alex Miller takes a closer look at where this case stands as it heads now to trial.
Dominion Voting Systems' $1.6 billion defamation lawsuit against Fox News is entering a new phase. Lawyers at the Superior Court in Wilmington, Delaware, choosing members of the jury ahead of the trial's opening statements Monday.
The jury will be asked to decide as whether Fox betrayed its responsibility as a journalist organization.
The judge has already ruled that Fox's reporting on air about the company was not factual. Now, Dominion's lawyers must convince a jury that the coverage was defamation. NYU law professor Bert Newborn says the Supreme Court in a previous ruling established a standard of actual malice created in the 1964 case, New York Times v. Sullivan.
What they still have to do is persuade the jury that Fox or any of the other defendants in the case acted with such reckless disregard for the truth that they either knew they were lying or were such bad journalists that they shouldn't even be accorded the kinds of First Amendment protection that we give to ordinary journalists.
After former President Donald Trump lost the 2020 election, the most prominent of Fox News hosts, including Sean Hannity, Tucker Carlson, and Maria Bartiromo, as well as frequent guests like Rudy Giuliani and Sidney Powell, echoed Trump's conspiracy theories relating to Dominion, including votes being changed or deleted in favor of Joe Biden, and that Dominion rigged elections for a Venezuelan dictator who died in 2013, all of which are false.
You need to have that hardware in your possession to prove it. Can you prove the case without the hardware or the software?
I can't imagine you would give a contract to a company if you went one step further and found out it's really being run by people that are close to Maduro and Chavez.
This is a massive election fraud, and I'm very concerned it involved not only Dominion and its Smartmatic software, but that the software essentially was used by other election machines also.
The Canadian-based company provides software to manage elections as well as voting machines and tabulators. In the 2020 election, it provided services to more than half the states in the U.S., including states Republicans alleged unfounded fraud claims in. Fox has refused to retract its statements, despite Dominion calling for them to do otherwise. The company contends the allegations against Dominion were at the time newsworthy and are protected by the First Amendment. But the release of text messages from some of the most prominent on-air talent casts doubt on just how earnest those concerns really were.
That First Amendment protection is defeated if the journalist is consciously lying or if the journalist is functioning so badly with such lack of regard for the truth that the journalist can be characterized as being reckless about the truth.
The judge, Eric Davis, sanctioned Fox News Wednesday afternoon after recordings were handed over by a former Fox producer of discussions she had with Giuliani and Powell. Dominion's lawyers were not given them during discovery. Judge Davis says the company will be able to conduct another deposition. The producer, Abby Grossberg, contends Fox pressured her to give false testimony in the case. Fox's biggest stars and executives could take the stand during the trial, and Dominion is pushing for others like Rupert Murdoch and even board member and former House Speaker Paul Ryan. At stake, the $1.6 billion Dominion is seeking in compensation. Alex Miller, Scripps News, New York.
And coming up next on Scripps News Live, wasted police manpower and money thanks to a series of fake calls about active shooters. What we know right now about the recent rise in swatting. Also, a chilling 911 call capturing the moment a panicked mother trying to warn police that her son could commit an act of violence. We have new information on a deadly shooting at a Louisville bank. That's next.
TV shark Robert Herjavec for CarShield.
I love cars, and I also love great deals. That's why I'm such a fan of CarShield. They have an amazing deal that helps protect you from the sky-high cost of big auto repairs.
The check engine light on your vehicle can come on at any time. If your car is out of warranty, an engine replacement can cost over $5,000. A new transmission, over $4,000. Even a new air conditioner can run over $1,500.
If you suddenly had to pay those costs, it could really hurt your bottom line.
CarShield administrators have paid for my claims over $5,000. Now, who does that? CarShield, you're the best. A plan that works.
When your car or truck breaks down, you simply take it to the certified repair shop or dealer of your choice. CarShield administrators take care of the rest.
And CarShield gives you VIP treatment.
Plans through CarShield include 24-hour roadside assistance, courtesy towing, and rental car options when your vehicle is being repaired.
I did my due diligence. CarShield is a deal that is just too good to pass up. In fact, CarShield is America's #1 auto protection company.
CarShield administrators have paid out over $1 billion in claims and have protected millions of vehicles. Call now for a free quote.
It's only a matter of time until your vehicle is going to need a repair. Save big with CarShield.
Call now for an instant free quote. CarShield offers month-to-month plans for every budget. There are no long-term contracts. CarShield has coverage for vehicles with 5,000 to 150,000 miles. CarShield experts are standing by now. The sooner you call, the sooner you can drive with peace of mind.
Coverage through CarShield is a deal that is just too good to pass up. If you want to save a lot of money on future auto repair bills, I recommend you call CarShield now.
Call 1-800-680-9870 or go to carshield.com. That's 1-800-680-9870. Call now.
There's a new victim of identity theft every 3 seconds. And checking your credit score or bank statements may not be enough to alert you. That's because identity threats appear in more places than you realize. Identity thieves can use your information to open loans, transfer home titles, even commit crimes.
Someone stole my information and tried to buy a car in my name.
LifeLock monitors for threats to your identity, including ones you may miss, and alerts you if there's an issue. And if you're a victim, your dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it.
If something happens, you have somebody fighting for you.
All plans backed by LifeLock's $1 Million Protection Package, including reimbursement for stolen funds.
I know LifeLock has me covered.
LifeLock, identity theft protection starts here. Call the number on your screen or visit lifelock.com/25now and use promo code 25now to save 25% on your first year of identity theft protection. Enroll now.
Hi, everyone watching at home. We're here to remind you that if you or someone you know were injured in an accident that was not your fault, listen up. We have live agents available right now to answer your questions and tell you how much your case is potentially worth. Hi, I'm Gina Bellich, here with spokesman and TV personality Tom Mustin with us in the Help Center. So, Tom, phones are really busy over there. Tell us what kind of calls you're seeing.
Well, Gina, first off, thank you for having me here in the call center with you. We always enjoy talking to the viewers and getting folks the compensation that they deserve. You know, we're seeing calls about all kinds of accidents, but the most common by far has been car accidents. So if you or someone you know were injured in an accident that was not your fault, give us a call right now. You'll speak with a live person. They'll answer any questions you have and tell you if you have a case and how much your case is potentially worth.
Thanks, Tom. All right, folks at home, you heard it. Take advantage of this opportunity and call now.
Louisville police have released a chilling 911 call from the mother of the young man who killed 5 people and wounded 8 others at a Louisville bank. In that call, you can hear the woman trying to warn authorities about her son's plans, but now we know that those warnings came too late.
I've got your name and your phone number in here, and I'm going to let the officers know that you believe headed to the Old National Bank on Main Street and having... Okay?
That's correct.
Okay.
And please, he's non-violent.
Mm-hmm.
He's never done anything. Please.
Okay, and you don't believe he owns guns?
I know he doesn't own any guns.
Now, police say the shooter legally bought an AR-15 style rifle just days before that mass shooting, and his family says that he was struggling with mental health issues. They were actively addressing the issues and claim that they saw no warning signs. Across the nation right now, threats and false reports of active shooters have been on the rise. Dozens of schools, universities, and hospitals have been targets in recent weeks, receiving hundreds of hoax calls, raising concerns among law enforcement. Scripps News national correspondent Axel Tercios is live for us right now in New York City. Axel, tell us more about this. What is the latest case involving these types of false reports?
Veronica, just about an hour ago, police responded to calls of an active shooter situation at Collin College in Dallas, and police later confirming it was a fake call. And also this Wednesday, law enforcement in Illinois saying that at least 19 counties across the state received at least 21 calls of false reports directed at schools. I spoke to a cybersecurity expert, and he tells me that this illegal practice known as swatting may put the lives of many people in danger.
Calls that create chaos.
Hello. You shot 3 students in the classroom.
False reports of shooters spreading through schools, colleges, and hospitals across the nation.
I was teaching in the classroom, and he picked up a gun and shot another student in the classroom.
These fake calls placing officials on edge.
What is swatting?
Swatting is basically the action of making hoax phone calls to falsely report serious crimes to emergency services and law enforcement.
Dr. Christopher Mansour, co-founder of cybersecurity programs at Mercyhurst University, saying the ultimate goal of swatters is to get law enforcement agents to respond to a scene of a fabricated threat.
They respond with all their tactics and their gears, and they want to protect citizens.
Mansour adding the calls could unintentionally endanger lives.
You have students, you have professors, you have staff. It could cause a little bit of a havoc or a kind of a real nerve-wracking incident, and sometimes it could lead to a deadly situation.
In 2017, a police officer in Kansas shot and killed a man while responding to a false emergency call. The hoax calls could also stop response teams from answering real emergencies. Just this past weekend, universities and hospitals across the country becoming the latest targets. Fake calls of an active shooter at the University of Oklahoma. Reports of a person with an AR-15 forcing a lockdown at Sparrow Hospital in Lansing, Michigan. Calls sending police to the library at Middlebury College in Vermont. And police responding to calls for active shooters on 2 locations at Boston University. False alarms that could also cause psychological consequences.
Number of people texted family members, I love you, I might not see you tonight. We still have staff and students that are still unpacking that, still dealing with the feelings that they had that day.
This local superintendent in Cincinnati, Ohio, describing pandemonium at his school after someone called 911 to report an active shooter early last month. Last week, swatting becoming a felony in Ohio, where violators could end up 18 months in prison. If someone gets hurt, violators could face years behind bars. Mansour says these callers use information collected through the action of doxing.
A technique where information that is available on social media, information that is available on organizational charts are collected and sold on the dark web or are available publicly.
Mansour saying there's no clear answer as to why people do this, but he has an idea.
They do that for prank, or they do that sometimes for financial gain or for having a grudge or a revenge.
The FBI says some of the fake reports may be computer-generated calls coming from outside of the country. Senator Chuck Schumer announcing this week he plans to advocate adding $10 billion to the federal government's budget to fund a cyber swatting team at the FBI.
Veronica, a number of states have passed laws toughening penalties for swatting. In Illinois is a felony that can force fake callers pick up the cost of law enforcement agencies responding to these fake emergencies. We're talking about law enforcement agencies sending helicopters, SWAT trucks, and dozens of police officers. Veronica.
It is just also scary. Axel Tercios reporting live for us in New York City. Axel, thank you so much. Straight ahead on Scripps News Live, homes evacuated in northern Utah as flooding is causing massive sinkholes to open up in the streets. Also, it's being described as a once-in-a-thousand-year event. Historic rainfall and flooding slamming South Florida. We'll have the details next.
Attention all business owners. If you had W-2 employees during the COVID-19 pandemic, you may be entitled to up to $26,000 per employee with the Employee Retention Tax Credit. The deadline to file your claims is approaching. Call now to see if your business qualifies. This approved payroll tax refund program from the U.S. Treasury Department is set up to reward business owners who kept employees on payroll during the pandemic. There is no limit on the amount of funding. Plus, you can get access to your cash in a matter of weeks. You want a trusted partner who understands the IRS guidelines. ERC experts are standing by to help your business claim your COVID refund. You may be entitled to up to $26,000 per employee. This quick and easy call can get your business the money it deserves. Don't miss the deadline to file your claims. Just call 800-360-1106. That's 800-360-1106.
Hi, William Devane here. If you're on Medicare and Medicaid or new to Medicare, you can call and check your zip code for a Medicare Advantage plan that may have extra benefits and may save you money. It's so easy. 1, call the number at the bottom of your screen. 2, they'll check for Medicare Advantage plans that may offer lower co-pays, transportation benefits, prescriptions, and dental coverage for fillings, extractions, even dentures. Plus, Part B premium reduction benefit that can add money back to your Social Security check every month. 3, you'll find out if you're eligible for certain plans that include an allowance for rent, groceries, and utility bills for qualifying individuals. Get what you deserve. Call now.
I just became eligible for Medicare, so I called to see if a plan that helps me pay for rent and groceries was available in my zip code.
Get what you deserve. Call now.
If you're on Medicare and Medicaid or new to Medicare, call to speak to a licensed insurance agent. Call 1-800-506-2300 now.
I'm Jason Bellini in Ukraine, reporting for Scripps News.
In a war half a world away,
You learn pretty fast when you just survive.
there are stories you will never forget. Stay with Scripps News.
Hey there, welcome back to Scripps News Live. I'm Veronica Dela Cruz. It's 35 minutes after the hour on this Thursday. Thank you so much for being with us. Let's get up to speed right now. The biggest stories that we're tracking for you right now. Fort Lauderdale will see more rain throughout the day as the city deals with widespread flooding. Conditions there so bad, and bad enough to cause officials to cancel classes in the Broward County School District. The airport is also closed until 5 a.m. tomorrow. Meteorologists are saying that storms brought as much as 25 inches of rain in just 24 hours, making road travel nearly impossible.
It's not recommended. If you see that it's flooded, just turn back around.
I was driving to pick up my girlfriend from the Amtrak station over by Little River, and I had to make a U-turn right before there was a train intersection because it was completely flooded.
In the meantime, crews are working to keep drains clear and are urging people to stay off those roads. And spring flooding in Utah has led to this sinkhole in a Salt Lake City neighborhood. People in more than 24 homes had to evacuate yesterday. Officials are saying warmer temperatures have been melting snow at a faster pace, causing some street flooding. The mayor has signed an emergency order to provide more support for his community. And crews are making progress in containing a wildfire in Manchester Township, New Jersey. According to the state's Forest Fire Service, the flames are at least 75% contained right now. It started Tuesday night, burning nearly 4,000 acres. No injuries have been reported, and evacuated residents have been returned to their homes. But officials are urging people to, quote, stay vigilant while driving through those smoky conditions. And in the meantime, a massive fire at a recycling plant in Richmond, Indiana is still burning 3 days after it started, and it could continue burning for several more. For now, the priority for local officials is keeping people away from the plant and its toxic fumes. But the city's mayor says that the plant's owner will be responsible for making this right, because they've got a paper trail that proves that he was warned about conditions inside of that plant time and time again.
That business owner is fully responsible for all of this. We have the unsafe building order and the recorded court documents, and everything that's ensued here, the fire, the damages, the risk that our first responders have taken and the risk the citizens are under are the responsibility of that negligent business owner.
Kara Kenny with Scripps News Indianapolis has been taking a closer look at the paper trail and found the battle back and forth between city leaders and the owner of this plant has been ongoing for years.
The city of Richmond sent us a bunch of documents. We've been digging through them and found the city cited the property owner back in 2019 for being an unsafe structure. They've been battling over the past 4 years. Records show Cornerstone Trading Group, LLC, and Seth Smith own the property that caught fire. In 2019, city inspectors found fire hazards, including excessive plastic materials stored in and around buildings, combustible material stored near exits, loose materials blowing around the unsafe premises, and roof damage allowing water inside. The city ordered them to clean up the property and fix fire hazards, including repair and activate all fire suppression and fire alarms to comply with city code. The situation ended up in court, and in 2020, a judge sided with the city.
Everything that's ensued here, the fire, the damages, the risk that our first responders have taken and the risk these citizens are under are the responsibility of that negligent business owner.
The city says when the property owner failed to pay taxes, the city acquired a portion in a tax sale back in 2021. The city started its own cleanup efforts, but the fire happened before they could get too far.
We took a portion of it from the business owner in a tax sale to hold that person accountable for this cleanup. They are still accountable for everything on this site, for every bit of the mess on this site. They're responsible for the fire that has happened and all of the damage that's ensued afterward.
We stopped by the property owner's home address here in Union County. Seth Smith's name is right here on his mailbox, but we couldn't go further than the driveway because there's a no trespassing sign. We could see smoke billowing from Smith's home 14 miles from the fire. We left a business card in his mailbox and also stopped by his attorney's office in Richmond, but the attorney declined to talk to us. Court records show Smith admitted in a 2019 hearing that his properties were out of control. The city says they've contacted the property owners about this fire and an investigation is underway.
It's an ongoing investigation, so I'm not going to get into any more of that right now.
In Richmond, I'm Kara Kenny reporting.
Straight ahead on Scripps News Live, we're going to take a closer look at the long-term symptoms that your child can face after suffering a concussion.
Sometimes when I do get a headache, it is a lot stronger than a normal headache would be.
Now experts are offering hope with new approaches to treatment. We'll have that story for you next.
Even one child hungry is one too many. Yet right now, millions of kids across America don't have enough to eat.
Did you have breakfast today?
Enough to help them grow, focus in school, and fuel their dreams. You can help end child hunger in the U.S. Join your neighbors and support No Kid Hungry today. And help ensure that every single kid gets the food they need to learn, to thrive, and to achieve brighter futures. With just $19 a month, only 63 cents a day, you can help provide free, healthy meals and snacks to kids in your community and across the country.
In the United States, a lot of people don't see our country as being a place where people are hungry. But in communities like ours, where poverty is such a big issue, it is an issue.
No child should ever go hungry, but schools and community groups that feed kids don't have enough resources. We can help. So please call or go online now and join us with your $19 monthly gift. Use your credit card and you'll receive this No Kid Hungry t-shirt to show you're part of the team that's helping feed kids and change lives. Food is health. Food is energy. Food is love. So let's make sure every child has the food they need to succeed.
If you're going to give, it's a place where you can know that your dollars are really doing something important. You know, you don't have to wonder, is my money really being used?
Your kindness and generosity will help feed boys and girls in your own backyard and across America who don't always know where their next meal is coming from. So please, call this number or go online to helpnokidhungry.org to feed hungry kids today.
Do you spend hours maintaining your gutters? Save that time with LeafGuard's maintenance-free system. Call 1-833-2-GUTTERS. Mesh filters sit on top of your gutters, building up debris and eventually clogging. Then they need to be cleaned too. Honestly, your home should have been built with LeafGuard gutters. LeafGuard's wraparound hood deflects debris and keeps water away from your home. The one-piece seamless system is strong, 20% thicker than average and built to last. Plus, LeafGuard is guaranteed to never clog for as long as you own your home. Right now, get a complete LeafGuard system for only $99 down, $99 a month, and $99 installation. You'll also receive a $100 Visa gift card with a free gutter inspection and in-home estimate. Damage from clogged gutters can cost you thousands. Never worry about clogged gutters again. Don't wait, you've still got time. Call 1-833-2-GUTTERS today. That's 1-833-2-GUTTERS.
How does Klein Inspector get among the most big verdicts and settlements of any law firm in the country? Because Klein Inspector is an award-winning team with 5 doctor lawyers, the most of any firm in the United States. And that's why the New York Times calls Klein Inspector a powerhouse law firm. So if a defective product, motor vehicle accident, or medical malpractice caused a catastrophic injury, call Klein Inspector.
Confused by all the Camp Lejeune toxic water commercials? Let me answer some of your questions.
Are claims filed against the U.S. Marine Corps?
No. The U.S. government has set aside billions of dollars for those who have suffered. The Marine Corps will not be impacted.
Will a Camp Lejeune claim affect my VA benefits?
No. According to the VA, your right to VA benefits will remain intact. If you have questions about a Camp Lejeune claim, call the Driscoll firm now for a free consultation. 1-800-273-4800.
Many children in this country suffer concussions every year, and doctors often recommend rest during recovery. But some researchers are now saying that may not be the best solution. Scripps News correspondent Chris Conti spoke with a woman who suffered a head injury at 11 years old and is now sharing new recommendations for doctors.
When I was a kid, I hit my head on a tree and suffered a pretty major concussion while sledding. Back then, the major school of thought was that rest was the best way to cure a concussion. But now doctors are finding out there might be a better way. It was a windy afternoon in 2013 at a soccer practice when Hannah Parmenter was hit not once, but twice in the head by a soccer goal when it tipped over.
I don't remember feeling any pain. I had actually had a wrestler's ear or cauliflower ear as well. Apparently that was bleeding and I couldn't feel that. It just felt very numb.
The then 11-year-old suffered a serious concussion. She's now 21, and the impacts still stay with her today.
Sometimes when I do get a headache, it is a lot stronger than a normal headache would be.
An estimated 2 million children and teens get sports and play-related concussions annually. At the time of Hannah's injury, her treatment was a lot of rest.
I remember this was around Christmas time, so just laid on the couch, watched like Christmas movies.
But concussion treatment for young people could be undergoing a shift, and rest may no longer be best.
There was a time where the diagnosis involved a couple of fingers, and if you were able to walk, you could get back out there.
That is Dr. Chris Vaughn, a pediatric neuropsychologist at Children's National in Washington, D.C. He works with kids on a daily basis who have suffered concussions.
Fortunately, the majority of brain injury overall falls into the relatively milder category.
Over the years, Dr. Vaughn and his colleagues started noticing something. Kids who suffer concussions and immediately return back to school and daily life seem to recover faster. So they started studying what was happening.
The kids that went back to school earlier tended to miss fewer days of school, had lower symptom burdens 2 weeks later.
What they found is that the longer kids miss school after suffering a concussion, the longer their symptoms seem to linger. The findings suggest there could actually be a therapeutic benefit for the brain from kids returning to school after a concussion, because Dr. Vaughn says it helps their brain actively recover in a sense. All of the findings were recently published in a new study.
I hope that it reinforces a message that has been growing over the last 8 to 10 years, which is that there really are things that we can do to help treat kids with concussion. This is not a wait until it gets better type of injury.
Dr. Vaughn and his colleagues are recommending parents with kids who suffer from concussions push socialization, reduce stress from not missing too much school, maintain a normal sleep-wake schedule, and return to light to moderate physical activity.
This important message that we don't want to just put kids in a dark room or have them sit at home and wait until they don't feel any difficulty concentrating or any anxiety.
It was hard for people to understand what was happening because I looked fine on the outside.
As for Hannah Parmenter, she still thinks about that day in 2013 and is continuing years later to talk about it in hopes of bringing more awareness to a problem that plagues so many.
It can change a person. It changed me during that time.
Chris Conti, Scripps News, Washington.
Now, this just into Scripps News Live right now. We're tracking multiple reports that the person who leaked sensitive Pentagon documents concerning the war in Ukraine has been identified and will be arrested. The New York Times reporting that the leaker has been identified as a 21-year-old Air National Guardsman. Minutes ago, Reuters added that he is expected to be arrested this afternoon in Massachusetts. Again, we're closely watching all of the developments for you. We'll bring you more as it comes in. Coming up next on Scripps News Live, Prince Harry heading home to attend his father's historic coronation. But don't expect a warm family reunion.
He's making it very clear that although he's coming, it's not that things have changed.
We're going to take you to London, where all the talk is of the rift in the royal family. We'll have that for you next. And we want to remind you right here to follow us at Scripps News on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and on TikTok. We'll be right back.
You're looking pretty good, Mr. Johnson. But we need to take some x-rays today.
Okay.
Yes, x-rays are expensive, but the front desk said you recently enrolled in a Medicare Advantage plan with extra benefits that now cover today's x-rays and cleaning costs.
Wow, okay.
Well, Medicare Parts A and B do not cover your routine dental coverage like cleanings, fillings, or x-rays. Yes, you have a Medicare Part C plan, commonly called Medicare Advantage. Medicare Part C plans cover everything in Part A and Part B, plus extra benefits like dental, vision, and hearing.
Wow. That's great that my plan includes dental coverage that helps pay for these costs.
Yes, Mr. Johnson. A Medicare Part C plan could include dental coverage that pays for routine dental exams and teeth cleanings, dental x-rays, fillings, tooth extractions, root canals, dentures, implants, and crowns.
If you're losing coverage, moving, or new to Medicare, call to speak with a licensed insurance agent. You don't get a plan with these benefits automatically, so it's always good to call to see if there's a plan with extra benefits available in your zip code. If you don't have a Medicare Part C plan, call now because there may be plans available with additional benefits that are simply not covered under Medicare Parts A and B, like routine dental coverage. In fact, 24 million Medicare beneficiaries do not have any dental coverage. Here's the good news. If you're on Medicare, you can call even if you called last year. We will check to see if there's a Part C plan available in your area with additional benefits. Remember, you don't get Medicare Part C benefits automatically, so call now for your free 2023 no-obligation Medicare benefits review. Just call 800-614-5203. 800-614-5203.
At Omaha Steaks, we do burgers differently. We take a premium aged steak like this and turn it into a pure ground burger like this. So this is actually a ribeye. This is a New York strip, top sirloin, beef brisket, and this is a filet mignon. For a limited time, our Burger Perfection flight comes with 20 big, juicy burgers, all for just $79.99, plus free shipping. Get it today at omahasteaks.com/TV. This is Burger Perfection, guaranteed.
This bakery needs new equipment fast to keep up with demand. So they're going to OnDeck, the online lender that makes it easy to choose your loan and, if approved, get funds as soon as the same day. Your loan is on deck.
The Athletic. Subscribe today.
there's a better way to begin your mornings.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Morning Rush.
On the stories that will shape each day.
There's a new study that might make you feel a little bit better.
So you can get on with yours. Morning Rush. Weekday mornings starting at 7, 6 Central. Only on Scripps News.
Great Britain's first coronation in 70 years being overshadowed by the drama that has been dividing the royal family. Now, yesterday, Buckingham Palace confirmed that Prince Harry will be attending his father's grand ceremony, but he's going to be doing it alone. His wife, Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, will be staying behind here in the United States with the couple's 2 kids as Harry, the Duke of Sussex, attends that May 6th coronation. Now, it is a decision that's been fueling further speculation of a royal rift in the wake of Prince's candid and best-selling memoir. It's called Spare. Now, naturally, the news of Harry's attendance and Meghan's decision not to attend has sent tongues wagging. Correspondent Laura Macon-Isherwood reports for us now from London, where England's tabloid press has been in a real frenzy.
Well, Harry, the Duke of Sussex, has now officially RSVP'd to the invite from his father to attend that coronation service on May the 6th. Buckingham Palace released a statement saying Buckingham Palace is pleased to confirm that the Duke of Sussex will attend the coronation service at Westminster Abbey. The Duchess of Sussex, however, will remain in California with Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet. We know, of course, that May the 6th, the date of the coronation, is also the date of Prince Archie's 4th birthday. Lilibet is just 1, so it seems like the Duchess of Sussex is looking to stay behind in California with them. There's been no further details being given about the reasoning behind this, why the couple have decided to come separately. But of course, it comes after those weeks and months of perceived tensions between the Duchess of Sussex, the Duke of Sussex, and the wider royal family as a whole. Of course, since Prince Harry published his memoir, Spare, in there he alluded to tensions between him and his stepmother, Camilla, who will become Queen Camilla at that coronation service as well. Also, he spoke about a fight that had taken place between himself and Prince William. So there's been plenty of discussions about what exactly that relationship is like at the moment. But it's reported that King Charles III is pleased that his son is coming over to London. It's not expected to be a long visit. It's not also clear exactly what part he will play, but we are now expecting to see him at Westminster Abbey for this historic event. But whether or not he'll be at the forefront of other parts of that celebration, we'll have to wait to find out. Laura Macon-Isherwood for Scripps News, London.
An appeals court is preserving access to the abortion pill for now. Coming up after a quick break, a look at last night's ruling and how it changes the legal battle over that pill. I'm Veronica Dela Cruz. Your next hour of Scripps News Live is right after this.
Do you spend hours maintaining your gutters? Save that time with LeafGuard's maintenance-free system. Call 1-833-2-GUTTERS. Mesh filters sit on top of your gutters, building up debris and eventually clogging. Then they need to be cleaned too. Honestly, your home should have been built with LeafGuard gutters. LeafGuard's wraparound hood deflects debris and keeps water away from your home. The one-piece seamless system is strong, 20% thicker than average, and built to last. Plus, LeafGuard is guaranteed to never clog for as long as you own your home. Right now, get a complete LeafGuard system for only $99 down, $99 a month, and $99 installation. You'll also receive a $100 Visa gift card with a free gutter inspection and in-home estimate. Damage from clogged gutters can cost you thousands. Never worry about clogged gutters again. Don't wait, you've still got time. Call 1-833-2-GUTTERS today. That's 1-833-2-GUTTERS.
Sure, you should teach him to ride a bike. Then use Greenlight and teach him how to invest in bikes. Teach him to be smart about money, and he'll go far.
Super far. Oh, hey, Mom.
Navigate the world of money together. Invest in your best investment. Greenlight.
Do you have a box of videotapes, film reels, or photos that are degrading? Legacy Box professionally converts them to DVDs, thumb drive, or the cloud. Legacy Box is simple and safe, with over 1 million satisfied customers. Visit legacybox.com.
The other workers' comp insurance company, they were going to reclassify our business, and then they were going to charge me $50,000. When we got the quote back from Pi, it was a sigh of relief. They put us in a policy where we fit. I'm grateful that there's a company out there that's willing to insure us little guys, because every dollar counts.
Ask your agent or get a quote at easyaspie.com.
Abortion remaining in legal limbo at this hour. Overnight, a federal appeals court ruled the abortion pill mifepristone will remain available. But that ruling comes with some restrictions. Thank you so much for staying with us. It is now 1 p.m. in the East and 10 a.m. out West. I'm Veronica Dela Cruz. Great to see you on this Thursday. Welcome back to Scripps News Live. So we have team coverage for you on these latest developments. National political correspondent Joe St. George is going to be reporting on this. Also, correspondent Haley Bull. They're both following the story for us at this hour. But we begin right here with Joe on what this ruling means right now for the fight for reproductive rights.
An overnight ruling means mifepristone for now can still be offered in states where medication abortion is legal, but that the FDA must stop offering the drug through the mail. The reality is this latest ruling is far from the end of this debate. An appeal to the Supreme Court is likely, which is why it's important to know the facts. Fact number one, if mifepristone is banned in a later ruling, medication abortions can still occur in states where abortion is legal. That's because mifepristone isn't the only drug abortion providers can use. Typically, mifepristone is used with the drug misoprostol in a medication abortion. Multiple organizations have said, though, that using just one drug, misoprostol, is safe and effective, too. In fact, that method has been approved by the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists and the World Health Organization. Some providers, though, have reported that option can produce more side effects. This week, Scripps News spoke with Jen Klein, the director of President Biden's Gender Policy Council. The White House is remaining optimistic.
I think that we are going to be in a position where we can continue to ensure access to mifepristone.
Fact number two, advocates won't easily give up offering the abortion drug even if the pill is blocked. Elisa Wells with Plan C, a reproductive rights advocacy group, says efforts to stockpile the drug in preparation of a ban have been underway for months. Her website provides free legal advice and details how options vary state to state. In some cases, her website recommends picking up pills in Mexico.
There is this robust pipeline of pills that come in mostly through India. We know these are coming in the tens of thousands.
In fact, number three, conservatives have the legal advantage. That's because the Supreme Court is just as conservative now as it was when it issued its abortion decision last year. Carol Tobias, the president of National Right to Life, says anti-abortion groups like hers want to stop as many abortions as possible, and legal challenges like this will be common.
We knew that it was not going to be over once the court overturned Roe.
Joe St. George, Scripps News, Washington.
All right, let's now get you out to White House correspondent Haley Bull, who's been tracking this story live from Washington. Haley, what has the response been like so far from the Biden administration?
Veronica, the White House is vowing to continue fighting the decision through the courts, and the administration is seeking emergency relief from the Supreme Court. They are on the right side of the
It looks like we're having trouble with Haley's signal there from the White House. We're going to work to get her up for you again, and we'll bring her your report as soon as we can. And we are following this story extremely closely. So for all of the latest developments, make sure that you follow Scripps News on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and of course on TikTok. Developing right now, President Biden expected to announce plans to expand access to health care for immigrants brought to the United States illegally as children. Sources are telling the Associated Press that the expansion will give DACA participants access to government-funded health insurance programs. Now, this move comes as the DACA program is in legal trouble, and the number of people eligible for it has been shrinking. Now to Indiana. The mayor of Richmond is saying the owner of an old recycling plant that caught on fire will be held responsible. Firefighters say they now have it under control, even as it burns for several more days. 2,000 people who live within a half mile of that facility had to evacuate because of all of that toxic smoke. The county health department is saying that particles from the fire can cause respiratory problems, burning in the eyes, also tightening of the chest. Kara Kinney with Scripps News Indianapolis has been taking a closer look at the paper trail and found that the back and forth battle taking place between city leaders and the plant's owner has been ongoing for years.
The city of Richmond sent us a bunch of documents. We've been digging through them and found the city cited the property owner back in 2019 for being an unsafe structure. They've been battling over the past 4 years. Records show Cornerstone Trading Group, LLC, and Seth Smith own the property that caught fire. In 2019, city inspectors found fire hazards, including excessive plastic materials stored in and around buildings, combustible material stored near exits, loose materials blowing around the unsafe premises, and roof damage allowing water inside. The city ordered them to clean up the property and fix fire hazards, including repair and activate all fire suppression and fire alarms to comply with city code. The situation ended up in court, and in 2020, a judge sided with the city.
Everything that's ensued here, the fire, the damages, the risk that our first responders have taken and the risk these citizens are under are the responsibility of that negligent business owner.
The city says when the property owner failed to pay taxes, the city acquired a portion in a tax sale back in 2021. The city started its own cleanup efforts, but the fire happened before they could get too far.
We took a portion of it from the business owner in a tax sale to hold that person accountable for this cleanup. They are still accountable for everything on this site, for every bit of the mess on this site. They're responsible for the fire that has happened and all of the damage that's ensued afterward.
We stopped by the property owner's home address here in Union County. Seth Smith's name is right here on his mailbox, but we couldn't go further than the driveway because there's a no trespassing sign. We could see smoke billowing from Smith's home 14 miles from the fire. We left a business card in his mailbox and also stopped by his attorney's office in Richmond, but the attorney declined to talk to us. Court records show Smith admitted in a 2019 hearing that his properties were out of control. The city says they've contacted the property owners about this fire and an investigation is underway.
It's an ongoing investigation, so I'm not going to get into any more of that right now.
In Richmond, I'm Kara Kenny reporting.
Straight out on Scripps News Live, days after a gunman opened fire inside a Louisville bank, the community has been rallying around the survivors and the families of the 5 people killed.
And please don't forget about them next week. Don't forget about them next month. And don't forget about them next year.
The pleas coming from the Louisville community for prayers, action, and accountability. Also, Kentucky's governor recounting the moment he learned his friend was murdered, and he had to share the horrific news with family.
Calling your friend's wife, who's also your friend, to tell her that her husband is gone is amongst the hardest things I've ever done. But at the same time, she deserved to know.
Coming up after a quick break, how he is handling grief and his advice for others having a tough time processing this recent tragedy.
If you're living with diabetes, this sound may save your life. A continuous glucose monitor provides glucose readings and alerts you in real time to potential lows and harmful spikes without painful finger sticks. It's easy, convenient, and proven to lower your A1C. If you administer insulin, you may qualify for a continuous glucose monitor at no cost to you. Call now. It could save your life. Just call 800-233-6176. This new GCM technology immediately eliminates your pain and helps you make better diabetes treatment decisions. That means no more guessing. It's easy to see your glucose number any time of the day. Call now and get free shipping. Plus, we'll bill your insurance company for you. Satisfaction guaranteed. Don't wait until it's too late. Take control of your diabetes now. Just call 800-233-6176. That's 800-233-6176.
I had to replace my engine. The bill would have been over $4,000, but my Endurance Auto Protection Plan covered it all.
A broken AC unit costs over $1,800, a transmission over $3,000, and an engine over $4,000. Breakdowns used to mean paying thousands out of pocket, until now. Go to EnduranceWarranty.com or call Endurance today and stop paying for expensive auto repairs. Call 877-204-1467 or visit EnduranceWarranty.com for a free quote.
Make your gift personal this Mother's Day with custom glass prints show love. Images are printed directly on glass in brilliant color and clarity. Turn your memories with Mom into remarkably different prints. Go to tryfracture.com and get 30% off orders over $50.
There shouldn't be a stigma around talking about mental health or taking medication for your anxiety if that's what you need to feel better. And that's something I know firsthand. That's why I trust Hers. They help women access quality mental health care 100% online. Get started today at forhers.com.
We knew how dangerous some of these jobs were. I mean, this isn't something new.
How many more cases do we need to uncover of child labor before Washington really gets it?
There's a whole array of reasons why victims don't want to talk about what's happening.
And why are we not using the laws that we have and enforcing those laws?
Scripps News investigates child labor in America tonight at 8/7 Central, only on Scripps News.
Overnight, a federal appeals court ruled that the abortion pill mifepristone will remain available. Let's get you back now live to White House correspondent Haley Bull, who's in Washington for us. All right, Haley, we tried to speak with you moments ago, and obviously we're having a tough time with your signal. But I wanted to ask you about, the White House in particular. What has the response been like from the Biden administration? What are they saying right now?
Veronica, they're vowing to continue fighting this through the courts. The administration is seeking emergency relief from the Supreme Court on this. This comes after the Justice Department sought to pause last week's ruling that blocked the FDA's approval of the medication. That decision coming out late last night allows it to be used, but sets limitations that restrict access to it, restricting its prescription through the mail and requiring an in-person doctor's visit. Today, in a statement, Attorney General Merrick Garland says they disagree with this decision to deny in part their motion for a stay. I want to read you part of his statement. He says, quote, "We will be seeking emergency relief from the Supreme Court to defend the FDA's scientific judgment and protect Americans' access to safe and effective reproductive care." Again, the White House saying that they will continue fighting this, believing that they are on the right side of the law here. Listen.
We believe that the law is on our side and we will prevail. So that I can reassure the American people that is our commitment to women, millions of women across the country, and also providers who are at the front lines working every day to make sure that women are able to make decisions for themselves about their own body. So what we can say is we're going to continue to fight.
Now, the administration has also questioned the impact this court case has on other medications, other FDA-approved drugs. The vice president reacting to it today, saying that it, quote, second guesses the agency's medical experts. If the decision stands, no medication from chemotherapy drugs to asthma medicine to blood pressure pills to insulin would be safe from attacks. This decision threatens the rights of Americans across the country who can look in their medicine cabinets and find medication prescribed by a doctor because the FDA engaged in a process to determine the efficacy and safety of that medication. Now, the vice president also called this decision a next step to a nationwide abortion ban. That is something some Republican lawmakers have proposed, but President Biden has vowed to veto. Veronica?
All right, Haley Bull reporting live for us from the White House. Haley, thank you so much. Louisville police have released a chilling 911 call from the mother of the bank shooter who killed 5 people and wounded 8 others before police shot and killed him. The woman tried to warn authorities about her son's plans, but by then it was too late.
I've got your name and your phone number in here, and I'm going to let the officers know that you believe headed to the Old National Bank on Main Street and having... Okay?
That's correct.
Okay.
And please, he's non-violent.
Mm-hmm.
He's never done anything. Please.
Okay, and you don't believe he owns guns?
I know he doesn't own any guns.
Police say the shooter legally bought an AR-15 style rifle just days before the mass shooting. His family says he struggled with mental health issues and they were actively addressing those issues. They claim they saw no warning signs. So even as Louisville leaders pray for victims of this week's mass shooting, they're pushing for change. Ricky Sayer from Scripps News Lexington, Kentucky has the details.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound.
Music closed out an emotional and passionate evening. The city of Louisville coming together for a vigil after Monday's bank shooting.
The events on Monday were truly a shock to the conscience and to the soul of this city.
What we need right now, in one word, is love.
Area leaders were joined by the bank's chief executive.
There are no adequate words to describe the heartbreak our old national family is feeling.
Representative Morgan McGarvey shared what the mother of critically injured officer Nicholas Wilt thought after seeing the body camera footage.
And she said, I was looking at his hands to see if he was scared. They never shook. And that's my child. Whenever anybody was in trouble, he ran to help them.
Yes, we must pray. Yes, we must reflect. But yes, we must act.
Just like during Tuesday's press conference with Dr. Jason Smith, the need to act was a message shared by politicians and doctors alike.
We cannot continue this business as usual.
Dr. Mohammed Babar is a physician in Louisville.
While we Americans have conquered space and improved human lives with our mind-boggling medical and scientific innovations, then why we can't find a solution to this cancer of mass shootings, which is eating away our children, adults, and seniors at a lightning speed?
Sharing a passionate plea.
Please do something, because we all just want this epidemic of death to end, which is wearing down our nation.
The moment met by applause. For Whitney Austin, Monday morning was familiar. She survived a mass shooting in Cincinnati in 2018. Wednesday, she asked for people to keep families in their thoughts.
And please don't forget about them next week. Don't forget about them next month. And don't forget about them next year.
Austin talked about how she's worked through her nonprofit organization, Whitney Strong, to affect change.
Through education, through research, through bipartisan-led legislation, and still, it wasn't enough to stop this. When you feel broken and defeated, like we all do now, this is the most important moment for you to find hope.
That's because she says it's only through hope you can find the strength to take action.
Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear knew one of the mass shooting victims, and he said that bank executive Tommy Elliott was a loving father and husband and had been the chairman of the governor's 2019 inaugural committee. The governor spoke about the emotional toll that this tragedy has taken.
It's okay to not be okay. I'm not okay right now. And a lot of us aren't going to be okay for a while. And I believe when we talk about mental health, we always try to talk about that last moment or this individual. We got to start in our everyday lives. All right, we got to start making sure that people are getting help as they're dealing with things long before it reaches this point, because we always try to rewind time and figure out when we could have stepped in. Well, yeah. I think the answer ought to be as early as possible.
If you or someone you know has been considering suicide, make sure you call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. That number is 988. Coming up next, a 12th day of intense protests in France over the country's retirement age. We're going to have a live report for you from Paris on the demonstrators' demands and how the French government has been responding. We'll be right back.
Hey, Caleb, what's going on?
Homework. I'm supposed to learn how to cook a soufflé.
Ooh, French. Impressive.
Oui, vous devriez l'apprendre. Ça vous fait paraître plus intelligent.
I have no clue what you're saying.
Yeah, I said that you should learn French because it makes you sound smart.
I got you.
You know what else is smart, Alec? Donating to Shriners Hospitals for Children.
I thought you'd say that. And you know what? You're right.
Just think what it would be like if people didn't support Shriners Hospitals for Children every month.
I don't even want to think about it. I know so many kids whose lives are completely different because of the specialized care Shriners Hospitals for Children provides.
Yeah, like Sebastian, who can stand now.
Yeah, and the best part is it's so easy to become a monthly supporter. All you need to do is call the number on your screen or go to loveshriners.org. Your support will make sure our amazing doctors and nurses keep helping kids like us who need them now and in the future.
Hey, Alec, do you think I could try this part?
Go for it, buddy.
When you call right now and give $19 a month, only 63 cents a day, we'll send you your very own Loved at the Rescue blanket as a reminder of all the kids you're helping every day.
Your monthly support makes a huge difference for kids like us.
So please, call now or go to loveshriners.org to give. On behalf of all the kids you're helping, Alec and I just want to say thank you.
You got that right. Thank you so much. Please call the number on your screen or go to loveshriners.org with your monthly support right away. Your support shows you care too.
Attention all business owners. If you had W-2 employees during the COVID-19 pandemic, you may be entitled to up to $26,000 per employee with the Employee Retention Tax Credit. The deadline to file your claims is approaching. Call now to see if your business qualifies. This approved payroll tax refund program from the U.S. Treasury Department is set up to reward business owners who kept employees on payroll during the pandemic. There is no limit on the amount of funding. Plus, you can get access to your cash in a matter of weeks. You want a trusted partner who understands the IRS guidelines. ERC experts are standing by to help your business claim your COVID refund. You may be entitled to up to $26,000 per employee. This quick and easy call can get your business the money it deserves. Don't miss the deadline to file your claims. Just call 800-360-1106. That's 800-360-1106.
Hi, everyone watching at home. We're here to remind you that if you or someone you know were injured in an accident that was not your fault, listen up. We have live agents available right now to answer your questions and tell you how much your case is potentially worth. Hi, I'm Gina Bellich, here with spokesman and TV personality Tom Mustin with us in the Help Center. So, Tom, phones are really busy over there. Tell us what kind of calls you're seeing.
Well, Gina, first off, thank you for having me here in the call center with you. We always enjoy talking to the viewers and getting folks the compensation that they deserve. You know, we're seeing calls about all kinds of accidents, but the most common by far has been car accidents. So if you or someone you know were injured in an accident that was not your fault, give us a call right now. You'll speak with a live person. They'll answer any questions you have and tell you if you have a case and how much your case is potentially worth.
Thanks, Tom. All right, folks at home, you heard it. Take advantage of this opportunity and call now.
Well, the FBI wants to speak with a 21-year-old member of the Massachusetts National Guard about the leaked classified documents. This is all according to the Associated Press and the New York Times. The Pentagon is calling the leak a serious risk to national security. The documents include detailed maps of battlefield conditions in Ukraine and satellite images from the region. Let's get you out of France, where protests have been intensifying in Paris. Take a look. This is video showing a group of demonstrators storming the headquarters of the parent company that owns brands like Louis Vuitton. This is only a small portion of the thousands of people that have been marching through Paris today. And it is all in response to President Macron's plans to raise the retirement age there from the age of 62 to the age of 64. Let's get you right out to Scripps News correspondent Ross Cullen, who joins us now live from Paris. All right, Ross, go ahead and set the scene for us there. What are you seeing right now?
Well, that Avenue Montaigne is the name of the street where the LVMH headquarters were stormed, and it is just 2 streets away from where I am here on the Champs-Elysees in the centre of Paris. We have seen hundreds of thousands of people demonstrating in the French capital alone today. The union's claiming more than 1 million nationwide for what is the 12th day of mass social action since the start of the year. Since January the 19th, week after week after week of marches, protests, demonstrations and multi-sector strikes against the government's planned pension reforms. And we have just had confirmation today, Thursday, that garbage collectors are going back on strike. And so we are going to be seeing those piles of trash getting bigger again as they were in March. But we have now seen another major day of mass social action ahead of that crucial court decision on Friday.
Go ahead and explain this for people in the United States, because the retirement age here in the U.S. is 67, and I know that in France it's been 62 for quite some time. So why are the French upset about raising the retirement age by 2 years?
Well, it's already been raised during the presidency of Nicolas Sarkozy from 60 to 62, and now they're saying that it is going to be raised to 64. But in fact, this is a policy proposed by Emmanuel Macron, and a lot of the anger is the fact that people in the re-election in 2022 voted not for Emmanuel Macron, but against his opponent, Marine Le Pen. And although it was an open campaign promise, it was a policy that was very clearly in Emmanuel Macron's manifesto that he wanted to raise the retirement age, people felt that they weren't voting for that manifesto, they were voting against Marine Le Pen. And so they have been saying, a lot of them on the streets, saying that President Macron has to interpret what he does, and he can't always bring in the policies that he promised in his manifesto, like raising the retirement age, because of that technicality that people were voting against his opponent, not in favor of him.
And Ross, how is the government responding to these protests? What is the French president saying right now?
Well, the French president has said he's open for talks with the unions, but only after we get the decision from the Constitutional Council. Now, we have 9 members on the Constitutional Council here in France. It's a bit like the US Supreme Court with 9 members there as well, but it is in no way politicized like the Supreme Court. It is a technical court that only rules on issues of constitutionality. Tomorrow, they will be either totally approving the law, partially approving the law, or totally invalidating that legislation. And so the government is willing to speak to the unions after that decision is made, and we are expecting President Macron potentially to make a public address early next week.
All right, we'll be watching. Ross Cullen reporting live for us from Paris. Ross, thank you. Coming up next on Scripps News Live, it's being described as a once-in-a-thousand-year event. Historic rainfall and flooding slamming South Florida. We'll have the details for you. Also, an alarming number of black women are dying while trying to bring a life into the world.
Going into a regular appointment, sometimes you feel like your concerns specific to being African American may not be heard.
How she took her prenatal care into her own hands and the advice that she has for other black expecting mothers. We'll be right back.
Municipal bonds don't usually get the media coverage the stock market does. In fact, most people don't find them all that exciting. But if you're looking for the potential for consistent income that's federally tax-free, now is an excellent time to consider municipal bonds from Henyon & Walsh. If you have at least $10,000 to invest, call and talk with one of our bond specialists at 1-800-465-8465. We'll send you our exclusive bond guide, free, with details about how bonds can be an important part of your portfolio. Henyon & Walsh has specialized in fixed income and growth solutions for 30 years and offers high-quality municipal bonds from across the country. They provide the potential for regular income, are federally tax-free, and have historically low risk. Call today to request your free bond guide, 1-800-465-8465. That's 1-800-465-8465.
Hi, William Devane here. If you're on Medicare and Medicaid or new to Medicare, you can call and check your zip code for a Medicare Advantage plan that may have extra benefits and may save you money. It's so easy. 1, call the number at the bottom of your screen. 2, they'll check for Medicare Advantage plans that may offer lower co-pays, transportation benefits, prescriptions, and dental coverage for fillings, extractions, even dentures. Plus, Part B premium reduction benefit that can add money back to your Social Security check every month. 3, you'll find out if you're eligible for certain plans that include an allowance for rent, groceries, and utility bills for qualifying individuals. Get what you deserve. Call now.
I just became eligible for Medicare, so I called to see if a plan that helps me pay for rent and groceries was available in my zip code.
Get what you deserve. Call now.
If you're on Medicare and Medicaid or new to Medicare, call to speak to a licensed insurance agent. Call 1-800-506-2300 now.
The why is where curiosity is intentional. Because when you ask the why behind the news, the world opens up before your eyes. The Why, tonight at 10, 9 Central, only on Scripps News.
Hey, Hey there, welcome back to Scripps News Live. Great to see you today. It's 27 minutes after the hour, and I'm Veronica Dela Cruz. Let's get you caught up right now. The day's top stories beginning in Florida, where Fort Lauderdale will be seeing more rain throughout the day as the city continues to deal with widespread flooding. Conditions there already so bad enough to cause officials to cancel classes in the Broward County School District. The airport is also closed until 5 a.m. tomorrow. Meteorologists say storms brought as much as 25 inches of rain in just 24 hours, making road travel nearly impossible.
It's not recommended. If you see that it's flooded, just turn back around.
I was driving to pick up my girlfriend from the Amtrak station over by Little River, and I had to make a U-turn right before there was a train intersection because it was completely flooded.
Crews have been working to keep drains clear and are urging people to stay off those roads. In Tennessee right now, Justin Pearson, the second black Democrat kicked out of the state house last week, has been reinstated. Pearson and Justin Jones both participated in a gun protest on the House floor. Now, those protests followed a mass shooting at a Nashville school that killed 6, including 3 9-year-old students. Today, Representative Pearson said Happy Resurrection Day as he signed the paperwork for his return. And Louisville authorities have released the chilling 911 calls from the attack. Some came from people who saw the gunman's live stream of that shooting at that bank.
911, Operator Davis, what is the address of the emergency?
Oh my God, what's the address to Western Point? Oh my God, there's an active shooter there. Oh my God, does anybody know the address to Western Point? Oh my God, I just walked to it.
Ma'am? Ma'am?
I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry.
That live stream was quickly taken down after the shooting. Well, the deadly shooting at a Nashville private school has been raising concerns for some of the youngest Tennesseans. So right now, they're joining the fight to push for more gun safety laws. Araceli Crescencio with Scripps News Nashville shows us how they took their message to the governor's front door.
This is not your typical after-school activity for elementary school students.
Dear Gov Darling, I want to feel safe going to school and not to... I'm not done writing that sentence.
But then again, it's not your typical concern for a 7-year-old either.
I just want to have fun. I don't want to have to worry about my safety.
Hayden Harris and her mother were among the dozens of families at Glendale Elementary on Wednesday that wrote handwritten letters to Governor Bill Lee asking for stricter gun laws.
Something's got to change for my child, for me to feel safe sending her to school. I'm a substitute teacher here at Glendale as well, and it's important.
With back-to-back tragedies for some, processing the impact of all that's happened is just beginning.
I'm from Louisville too, and I used to work right there where it happened, so it's gotten to the point, it just hits too close to home these days.
After the Covenant School mass shooting, parents say they wanted to give their children an opportunity to raise their voice too. And after all the writing was done, the walking to the governor's mansion began. Although Governor Lee wasn't home to accept the letters, staff said they would be delivered to him. An outcome that children know has the potential to make a big difference.
A little goes a long way when you're trying to protest about this stuff.
In Nashville, I'm Araceli Crescencio reporting.
Prosecutors in Virginia are now investigating if any school employees could be to blame for a 6-year-old student shooting his teacher earlier this year. Prosecutors are asking for a special grand jury to see if there were any, quote, security failures that led to this shooting. This comes a day after the child's mother was charged with felony child neglect. The 6-year-old used the mother's gun to shoot and wound teacher Abby Werner. Tamara Holder is an attorney and founder of the law firm of Tamara Holder and joins us now live. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me. I'm actually in a playroom, so it's fitting for this conversation.
So, Tamara, here's what we know so far. We know that Abby Werner is suing the school system for $40 million. She's citing gross negligence. And she stated that school officials knew of the boy's history, which included him strangling and choking another teacher when he was in kindergarten. So, in your opinion here, how much is the school to blame for what happened?
Well, this is a hard issue that we have and that we've been facing for a long time, long before gun violence in schools. And that has to do with the immunities that schools have in protecting children or not protecting children. And so there's a very, very high standard, as I'm sure every parent watching knows, that there's always a kid in the classroom or two who has a behavioral history. And whether it's touching little girls inappropriately, does that mean that they know that the kid's a rapist or is acting out? Does that mean that he's going to be a serial killer? That is why schools have such great protections. But, we're now in a time where school shootings are so common. I read a statistic yesterday that 1 in 5 adults in America has had somebody lost to gun violence. So now I think those protections are certainly going to change in the schools.
Yeah, and that statistic is just so sad when you think about it. But I do want to ask you, in terms of how common this might be for authorities to look toward school employees after a school shooting occurs, what is the outcome here? What could a grand jury be looking at while investigating school employees in this case?
Well, you're now putting, they're going to look to see if an employee is engaging in any kind of willful or wanton conduct that goes beyond just negligence. And I think that a lot of these school employees are going to have that defense that they shouldn't be held to some kind of criminal standard. And of course, we're talking about $40 million lawsuits here, which is a separate issue. We're talking about criminalizing school officials on one hand, and then also on the civil side, what that looks like and who should be liable in the event of something awful and tragic like this.
Now, in terms of the charges that the mother is facing in this case, it's felony child neglect. How common is it for the parents to be held liable for their kids' actions? And in your opinion, do you think the charges against the mother in this case go far enough, or are they sufficient?
Well, I think that it's very hard for parents to be found liable for the behavior of their children. That being said, again, as I brought up with regard to the schools knowing, I think that we're going to see a lot of, I think we're basically, and I'm not trying to be vague, but I think we're in this change in America where although guns are becoming more legal and shootings are becoming more prominent, we are going to now look to who is liable for the conduct of kids. Is it the school? Is it the parent? And I certainly think that parents out there watching really need to be more aware of the behavior of their children and the behavior of their own behavior. Are they locking guns? Are they engaging in gun safety? Are they talking to their kids about serious gun issues that plague America? And very importantly, are they paying attention to the mental health of their children? Because that's part of this debate.
All right, so I hear what you're saying in terms of the landscape shifting. So whether it's the school that's involved here or maybe the parents that are in this case, you're saying the mood has changed now in terms of responsibility, maybe legal liability when it comes to gun violence. So how do you see things changing in the court, and how do you see this case in particular unfolding?
Unfortunately, my concern is that I feel that the courts are really becoming very politicized. And we see that, not to talk politics, but we're seeing that with this Alvin Bragg indictment of Donald Trump. And a lot of people are saying that this is politically motivated. And so, and we're seeing this also with women's rights and the birth control, the abortion pill. Potentially being really more of a political issue coming out of Texas. So the question is, are the courts going to be able to balance the well-being and the interests of the public versus the political noise? And it's going to be really interesting to see how the courts rule in these kinds of cases.
Yeah, I mean, you raise a lot of really, really interesting points. Tamara Holder from the law firm of Tamara & Holder, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you stopping by.
Thank you.
Coming up next on Scripps News Live, the push to protect Black expecting mothers. Why one woman says for her, it came down to choosing the right doctor.
Are you on Medicaid and Medicare?
The U.S. government recently announced that 12.2 million citizens are eligible for additional benefits beyond what they received from the original Medicare or Medicaid.
These benefits may include $2,500 of dental credit, $900 of pharmacy credit, plus you could be adding up to $164 back into your Social Security check every month. Certain beneficiaries qualify for specific benefits based on income verification.
It's easy to see if you qualify.
Call Go Medicare at 800-718-0414.
And see if you're one of over 12 million who may qualify.
For $2,500 of dental credit, $900 of pharmacy credit. Plus, you could be adding up to $164 back into your Social Security check every month. Certain beneficiaries qualify for specific benefits based on income verification.
This call is 100% free with no obligation to enroll.
At 800-718-0414. Are you on Medicaid and Medicare?
The U.S. government recently announced that 12.2 million citizens are eligible for additional benefits beyond what they received from the original Medicare or Medicaid.
These benefits may include $2,500 of dental credit, $900 of pharmacy credit. Plus, you could be adding up to $164 back into your Social Security check every month. Certain beneficiaries qualify for specific benefits based on income verification. Call Go Medicare at 800-718-0414. If you have recently turned 65, you may be able to enroll in a new plan today that may include benefits like $2,500 of dental credit, $900 of pharmacy credit.
This call is 100% free with no obligation to enroll. So call today.
At 800-718-0414. That's 800-718-0414.
Is your teen addicted to social media? Are they showing signs of depression or eating disorders? Listen up. This could concern you. A whistleblower has reported that their platform was knowingly exposing children to dangerous topics and posts. The whistleblower claims that this algorithm is also causing body image issues, eating disorders, and more. What's worse is that social media company was shown the research and had done nothing about it. Turns out they've known about it for years. If your child has shown signs of suicide risk, mental health issues, and/or an eating disorder, you could be entitled to compensation. We're representing other families just like yours. Do not delay. Morgan & Morgan. For the people.
Call 855-800-6927. 855-800-6927. That's 855-800-6927. Call now.
At Omaha Steaks, we do burgers differently. We take a premium aged steak like this and turn it into a pure ground burger like this. So this is actually a ribeye. This is a New York strip, top sirloin, beef brisket, and this is a filet mignon. For a limited time, our Burger Perfection flight comes with 20 big, juicy burgers, all for just $79.99, plus free shipping. Get it today at omahasteaks.com/TV. This is Burger Perfection, guaranteed.
How does Klein Inspector get among the most big verdicts and settlements of any law firm in the country? Because Klein Inspector is an award-winning team with 5 doctor lawyers, the most of any firm in the United States. And that's why the New York Times calls Klein Inspector a powerhouse law firm. So if a defective product, motor vehicle accident, or medical malpractice caused a catastrophic injury, call Klein Inspector.
Black mothers are nearly 3 times more likely to die as a result of pregnancy compared to white women. And it's why advocates say that Black Maternal Health Week is necessary to not only raise awareness, but improve outcomes for Black mothers during and after their baby is born. Nia Watson with Scripps News San Diego explains what doctors are doing right now to keep Black mothers safe during childbirth.
This week, healthcare providers are raising awareness about Black maternal health.
This is Nava.
Natasha McGee gave birth to her baby girl Nava in February, but as a 40-year-old Black woman, she admits she had some concerns.
You know, just going into a regular appointment, sometimes you feel like your concerns specific to being African American may not be heard.
Along with it being a geriatric pregnancy, McGee also has a history of high blood pressure, also called hypertension.
I've had hypertension actually since I had my first son.
Her pre-existing conditions and the disparities among Black maternal health are why McGee says she sought out a Black doctor.
Every appointment I went in, I did not feel like I was rushed. I felt like I was listened to. I felt like she generally cared about me and my health and the health of my baby.
That doctor was Dr. Meredith McMullen, an OBGYN at Kaiser Permanente San Diego. Dr. McMullen says the high mortality rate among Black women is due to a number of things.
Some of that is because of pre-existing conditions. Some of that is because an implicit bias exists within our medical system.
She says Black women are more at risk to have pre-existing conditions like hypertension, which can lead to preeclampsia. Preeclampsia is a pregnancy-specific complication caused by high blood pressure and high levels of protein.
The preeclampsia can turn into, if left untreated, severe blood pressures that can then result in seizures.
Dr. McMullen says the key to improving Black maternal health includes having a diverse labor and delivery team, but most importantly, educating expecting mothers.
Coming into the pregnancy aware of your pre-existing conditions and knowing that you really do need to be on top of your own care.
I'm Neil Watson, reporting.
This morning, Dr. Veronica Gillespie-Bell, head of women's services at Ochsner Medical Center in Louisiana, joined Morning Rush to discuss the importance of Black Maternal Health Week and why Black mothers often end up having to advocate for themselves.
Why are we seeing this discrepancy? Of course, across the board, women's health care does need to be paid attention to, and it's concerning for all mothers. But why are Black women significantly more likely to die as a result of pregnancy?
Thank you. Let me be crystal clear. I always try to say this anytime we're discussing these maternal mortality rates and the disparities. Race is a social construct. It's not a biological condition. We know that because of our systemic policies, structural racism, that the social determinants of health for Black and brown individuals have been negatively impacted. And so that puts them a step behind really for any healthcare outcome. And then when we partner that with implicit bias, and that bias that affects how we as healthcare providers deliver care and not giving everybody the same quality of care, that is why we see these outcomes and these disparities.
So are you putting more of the onus on the medical community itself as opposed to someone's individual medical condition?
It really is on everybody. Everybody has a role to play in reducing maternal mortality and in reducing these disparities. We, as the healthcare system, it is on us to make sure we're providing evidence-based medicine, giving everybody high quality of care, but it's also on us as society to understand the warning signs for moms after they deliver. We call those the post-birth warning signs to know when they need to seek care. And then it's up to us as a society to affect some of these social determinants of health and impact those social determinants of health in a positive way.
Yeah, can you talk a little bit more about what doctors should be looking out for and what people should really advocate for themselves for as well? Because like you said, a lot of this happens post-birth. There's hemorrhaging, which may be a more obvious one, but there's also mental health problems that come along afterwards, and people may not take it as seriously as they should. Can you talk a little bit about what people, what warning signs people should be more attuned to?
Sure, and I would also add to that list hypertensive disorders of pregnancy. We know that cardiovascular conditions and also hypertensive disorders of pregnancy are really the leading causes of those pregnancy-related deaths. And so for our moms and for our community, our supporters of our moms, we need to understand that if we have a headache that's not relieved by Tylenol, if we have blurry vision, pain in the right upper side, those could all be signs of preeclampsia and reasons to come into the hospital. If we are bleeding more than a pad an hour, that can be a sign of hemorrhage. If we're not ourselves, if we're not feeling ourselves, we know postpartum blues affects about 80% of our patients. But when you have postpartum depression, that is not being able to take care of yourself, not being able to take care of your infant, and that does put you at increased risk for suicide. So we need to understand that as community individuals individuals supporting our birthing persons, as well as our moms. And then as healthcare providers, we need to listen to our mothers, especially our Black mothers. Historically, we have been told that Black women's voices sometimes don't matter, that we have historically been told that Black women don't feel pain in the same way. Those are all biases, and those are untrue. And all of that has led to us not listening to our Black mothers. Women know when something is wrong with their body, and we need to honor their voice, respect them, center them at the care, and be able to elevate those voices and respond when we hear them say that something is wrong.
And the data shows that women 40 and older are more than 4 times as likely than as women 25 to 39 to experience maternal death. I mean, it's well known, of course, that the older you are, the greater the risk. You're considered a high-risk pregnancy past a certain age, but we are also living in a time when women and families are having children later in life. Can you talk about that age issue and the risk there, depending on you know, where you are on the age spectrum at the time that you're giving birth?
Yes, as you mentioned, sociologically, we are delaying childbirth as women. Biologically, our bodies have not caught up. And we also know that as we are older going into pregnancy, we are more likely to have medical conditions that are going to complicate those pregnancies. That is also why it is so important to seek preconception care if you are someone that is contemplating pregnancy. We really need to see moms before they get pregnant so that we can optimize those medical conditions. If you're someone that has hypertension, diabetes, and that is uncontrolled before pregnancy, you really are behind the 8 ball by the time you're entering that pregnancy.
All right, Dr. Veronica Gillespie-Bell, Head of Women's Services at Ochsner Medical. Thank you so much for joining us here today. Really appreciate your time on this.
Thank you, my pleasure.
Straight ahead on Scripps News Live, the EPA cracking down on vehicle pollution. We'll have the details on the newly proposed emissions rules. That's next.
Are you ready for a fresh new bath or shower? Well, now is the best time with free installation and no interest and no payments for 1 year. Hi, I'm Christina, and it's time to flip your old worn out bath or shower with Jacuzzi Bath Remodel today. Everyone knows the Jacuzzi brand. They're the most trusted name in water for over 60 years. But did you know they can install a gorgeous bath or shower that feels incredible in as little as 1 day? It's no stress and no mess with a lifetime warranty. Now let's talk beauty. You deserve to start and end your day in a beautiful space that feels great and is custom designed just for you. So call or go online now to see the Christina preferred designs like Canyon, Farm, and Urban. Now that's the total bathroom beauty that I love at a price you can afford. And how about safety? Like an ultra low profile, easy entry shower, complete with grab bars and a custom designed seat. You deserve safety and peace of mind without sacrificing style. Because with all the worries in daily life, taking a shower shouldn't be one of them.
Every time I stepped over my old tub, I worried I might fall. I don't have those fears anymore. Jacuzzi Bath Remodel gave me a gorgeous shower that's safe too.
I've been trying to get him to remodel that bath for years. I called and they did in just 1 day.
And at a price we could afford.
With one call to Jacuzzi Bath Remodel, you can effortlessly transform that old, ugly eyesore into the stunning bath or shower of your dreams that you'll love for years to come.
Call or go online now to jacuzzibathremodel.com to get free installation. Plus, ask how you may qualify for no interest and no payments for 1 year. Go to jacuzzibathremodel.com or call 800-218-1279. That's 800-218-1279. Call now.
If you're living with diabetes, this sound may save your life. A continuous glucose monitor provides glucose readings and alerts you in real time to potential lows and harmful spikes without painful finger sticks. It's easy, convenient, and proven to lower your A1C. If you administer insulin, you may qualify for a continuous glucose monitor at no cost to you. Call now. It could save your life. Just call 800-233-6176. This new GCM technology immediately eliminates your pain and helps you make better diabetes treatment decisions. That means no more guessing. It's easy to see your glucose number any time of the day. Call now and get free shipping. Plus, we'll bill your insurance company for you. Satisfaction guaranteed. Don't wait until it's too late. Take control of your diabetes now. Just call 800-233-6176. That's 800-233-6176.
You're watching Scripps News, streaming everywhere, totally free. Want to see more? Grab the app on your favorite streaming platform or go to scripsnews.com to find every way to watch. Go to scripsnews.com now to find out more.
52 minutes after the hour now, the Environmental Protection Agency has proposed an ambitious plan that would require 2/3 of new vehicles sold to be electric by 2032. Scripps News' correspondent James Packard is breaking down the plan's viability.
These are some pretty ambitious standards.
The EPA announcing a plan to implement its strictest ever vehicle emission standards.
The Clean Air Act kind of demands that the EPA do this and keep up.
Wednesday, the EPA proposed requiring vehicle manufacturers to sell up to 2/3 of their new cars as electric vehicles by 2032.
We know that in the next couple of years, we're going to see automobile manufacturers offer a suite of products that will be attractive to consumers.
EPA Administrator Michael Regan touting the tough benchmarks as some manufacturers planning longer timelines to going electric scramble to reframe strategies and meet the quick deadline.
We know that we'll see charging stations all across this country so that we can reduce that range anxiety in those who are concerned about where they can charge. And people will have a number of years that they can take advantage of these tax credits.
But some are skeptical the U.S. can build the necessary infrastructure to accommodate a rapidly ballooning number of EVs. At Purdue University, Clayton Nicholas is helping to make sure the country has what it needs.
So there's a lot of research going on universities doing wireless charging. There's research on battery technologies.
He says while charging stations are aplenty in the cities, spreading them out into rural areas will take time, not unlike establishing gas stations at the beginning of the 20th century.
And it took probably 10 to 15 years before it really filtered out all the way to rural areas and everyone was able to take advantage of it.
What concerns me is we need to not just have the charging stations, but have the electricity to operate them.
Ethan Brown runs a website and podcast on climate change.
As we've seen, I'm in California. Last September, we had a brutal heat wave where our electricity could have had some blackouts if consumers didn't reduce their electricity load a little bit. Similarly, in Texas, they've seen cold waves where their grid goes offline. And adding a ton of electric vehicles to that grid, you need to have the electricity capacity to upkeep that.
The EPA's proposed rule is an ambitious stride toward a clean energy future, a tough benchmark to meet, but a powerful one if it works.
They're going to get sued for this, but they also could have gotten sued if they didn't do it. So.
And that was national correspondent James Packard reporting there for us. All right, coming up next on Scripps News Live, we're going to be explaining how a culinary program is now offering hope for the homeless. We'll be right back.
Attention all business owners. If you had W-2 employees during the COVID-19 pandemic, you may be entitled to up to $26,000 per employee with the Employee Retention Tax Credit. The deadline to file your claims is approaching. Call now to see if your business qualifies. This approved payroll tax refund program from the U.S. Treasury Department is set up to reward business owners who kept employees on payroll during the pandemic. There is no limit on the amount of funding. Plus, you can get access to your cash in a matter of weeks. You want a trusted partner who understands the IRS guidelines. ERC experts are standing by to help your business claim your COVID refund. You may be entitled to up to $26,000 per employee. This quick and easy call can get your business the money it deserves. Don't miss the deadline to file your claims. Just call 800-360-1106. That's 800-360-1106.
If I had to replace my engine, the bill would have been over $4 grand. But my Endurance Auto Protection Plan covered it all.
A broken AC unit costs over $1,800. A transmission, over $3,000. And an engine, over $4,000. Breakdowns used to mean paying thousands out of pocket. Until now. Go to EnduranceWarranty.com or call Endurance today and stop paying for expensive auto repairs. Call 877-204-1467 or visit EnduranceWarranty.com for a free quote.
Sure, you'll teach her how to drive a car, then use Greenlight to power her independence with crash detection with 911 dispatch, family location sharing, and emergency SOS alerts. Invest in your best investment with Greenlight.
I was curious about trick plays and if ever
local hero, national champ, now he's home and expected to save the franchise. Hey guys, am I dreaming or can we actually win this thing?
Finding stable employment is among the many challenges to breaking that cycle of homelessness. Daniel Kreuter with Scripps News Denver shows us how a nonprofit has been working to give people specific job skills in the culinary world.
Frederick McDowell has some big goals.
Run the kitchen this time instead of being a regular employee.
Right now, he's studying to get a culinary certificate through the nonprofit called Housed, Working, and Healthy.
You know, I was struggling with my rent, with my bills.
Like so many others, the last few years have been tough for McDowell.
I was looking for something else at this resource place. And the person, the staff member just offered me, hey, would you like to learn how to cook?
HWH was launched by Brad Volan, a multifaceted solution to a complicated problem.
The program that supports housing and workforce training and workforce placement, along with mental health, all in the same co-located space, came about.
After 3 months, students graduate and head out into the workforce.
We have helped close to 60 people now get employment.
Even then, graduates have the continued support of the program, including transportation and mental health workshops.
People have been through so many trauma and issues throughout their experience before coming here.
It doesn't matter if you've never cooked before.
One time, a guy said that he was like 66 years old and had never made a pan of cornbread before. So I was like, wow.
The instructors make sure each student has the skills they need to get a good job.
Chef Billy and Chef Shy is very, very good at what they do.
And as for McDowell, he has his sights set sky high.
I want to work at the tower. I've never even been in the building or anything, but I see it and I remember that tower because I lived in that area growing up in high school. And I didn't even know that that had become a restaurant, so I just seen this and I want to work at the tower. Or I'm going to work at the tower.
I'm Danielle